Hello everyone, so today I have the new Samsung Galaxy A54 with me. It's the latest Samsung mid-range phone that specs-wise is very similar to the Galaxy A54, which made its debut a couple of months ago. I don't have its official pricing yet, but since this is a Flipkart exclusive phone and not an offline phone like the Galaxy A series, it's going to be a little aggressive in terms of price. So the base 128GB variant should cost below 30,000 rupees in India, while the 256GB variant will be priced a little over 32,000. I will pin the official price in the comments, but for now, let's talk about the phone itself. So like every Samsung phone that has launched in 2023, the Galaxy F54 does not come with a charger inside the box either, which means you'll need to buy an official 25-watt rated Samsung charger separately, which goes for around 1,300 rupees. Plus, you also don't get a pre-applied screen protector and a case inside the box, so the unboxing experience is pretty dull here. Anyway, the first thing you see Samsung has compromised to bring the cost down of the Galaxy F54 is the design aspect itself. And I believe this is probably the weakest point of the phone. You get an all-plastic build here and a taller form factor, and it does not feel that good in the hands. It also has this glossy kind of back, which as you can see catches a lot of fingerprints and smudges. On the contrary, the Galaxy A54 is a much better looking phone with a matte back glass body, a much better weight distribution, and a overall more premium looking device. The Galaxy A54 also has a range of attractive color options, whereas here you can either choose the silver color or go with the dark blue option. The Galaxy F54 also lacks any kind of IP rating, while you get an official IP67 dust and water resistance on the Galaxy A54. So you can clearly see corners being cut when it comes to the design and build of this phone. There aren't any corners cut in the display department though. You get a 6.7 inches Super AMOLED Plus screen with a Full HD resolution, 20:9 aspect ratio, and a fast 120Hz refresh rate, all protected by Gorilla Glass 5. This panel definitely is not as good as dynamic AMOLED ones that you see on flagship S23 series, but it is still an excellent one with great light uniformity, perfect contrast, and super accurate color reproduction. The 120Hz refresh rate is also quite fluid and responsive with excellent touch responsiveness. Plus, it looks like Samsung has used an X-axis vibration motor here, since it also has nice, precise and detailed tactile feedback, just like the Galaxy A54. As for brightness, it can hit an impressive 800 nits at max auto, making it perfectly usable outdoors. The minimum brightness here is also quite low, so no issues with usage while in bed at night either. This screen also has HDR10 Plus and L1 Wideband certification, which means watching movies on streaming platforms, especially the ones with HDR playback, is going to be a treat. However, Samsung has not included a stereo speaker setup here. Just a single speaker, which can get pretty loud, but I did miss that depth. And in some scenarios, the audio would just get too sharp with a little annoying kind of treble. Likewise, you also don't get an in-display fingerprint scanner here, as the F54 settles for a more traditional side-mounted fingerprint sensor, which fortunately is located at a convenient spot for operation with my right thumb. Now for performance, we get Samsung's in-house Exynos 1380 chipset here, which I'm not a big fan of. Don't get me wrong, there is plenty of power here for One UI to run smooth and snappy. There is no hint of stutter under light everyday tasks, but it's just that it often underperforms when compared to similarly priced phones like the Poco F5, the Moto Edge 40, and the like. And that's especially true when you start gaming on this phone. Here, I was only able to get a max of like 30 FPS in games like Genshin Impact and PUBG Mobile. That too at the lowest of settings. The stability also takes a hit once I try to increase the graphics settings to say medium on Genshin and HD on PUBG Mobile. So neither you're getting higher FPS nor better graphics quality on the Galaxy F54. Lighter and more optimized games like Call of Duty and Mech Arena are more stable and can hit 60 FPS at higher settings though. Samsung has also not included any proper cooling solution like a vapor chamber here, so the sustained gaming performance is not as good, and the phone gets quite toasty if you game for 30+ minutes or if you are on mobile data all the time. On the contrary, the Galaxy A54 has slightly better CPU and GPU stability in throttling tests, as you can see from these graphs. But overall, if you're not a heavy user and don't play heavy games at all, the Galaxy F54 should not be a problem. The One UI experience here is great, there are no annoying ads or bloatware, and you get a full-fledged One UI 5.1 based on Android 13 on this phone. And like the Galaxy A54, Samsung is offering same 4 years of OS updates and 5 years of security patches here on this phone too. The Galaxy F54 brings a 108-megapixel primary camera with OIS, followed by an 8-megapixel ultra-wide and a 2-megapixel macro lens. On the front, you get the same 32-megapixel selfie camera, which weirdly fits inside a bigger punch hole cutout than the Galaxy A54. Anyway, I compared the cameras from both these phones and found very little difference between them. The Galaxy A54 is slightly better with highlights and white balance in some situations, but most of the time they produce almost identical colors and sharpness. So overall, you will get some really nice shots from the Galaxy F54 both during daytime and nighttime. The Galaxy A54 also manages somewhat better portrait shots. As you can see from these images, the A54 has better background colors, but this is something that Samsung can improve with an update or two. The Galaxy A54 also has a slightly better and wider 12-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera compared to the 8-megapixel one on the Galaxy F54. So I was getting slightly better ultra-wide-angle shots from the A54 with a wider field of view. The selfies are also quite nice on both these phones with good dynamic range and natural detail rendering. This phone can also click 4K 30fps videos from its primary and front cameras. And overall, I like the quality with ample details, consistent dynamic range, and the right amount of white balance and saturation. It also has a wider field of view than the Galaxy A54, but like the A54, Samsung has disabled stabilization at 4K 30fps or 1080p 60fps, and it only works at 1080p 30fps. Okay, lastly, getting into the battery life, Samsung has fitted in a big 6000 mAh cell here whose endurance is just amazing. I was able to achieve almost 7 hours of screen on time every day on a heavy usage pattern, which is almost 2 hours more than the Galaxy A54. But the battery life is still not as good as my daily driver S23 Ultra, which gives me around 7.5 hours of screen on time. For charging, it takes around 1 hour and 45 minutes to fully juice up with an official 25-watt charger. So maybe Samsung should at least bring 65-watt or faster charging speeds to phones with such a big battery capacity. Okay, to conclude, after testing the Galaxy F54 for almost a week now, I believe that this is a decent phone under 30,000 rupees in India if your number one priority is a good and reliable camera. It also has an excellent display, great battery life, and is guaranteed to get years of software updates. But I can't help but notice that by paying just a little bit more, you can get the Galaxy A54, which offers a more premium, nicer looking design, IP67 rating, better thermal management, better stereo speakers, in-display fingerprint sensor, and the list just goes on. Plus, the Galaxy A54 also goes on sale on Amazon from time to time. So if the Galaxy A54 is available on sale, it's just a no-brainer that you should be paying a little bit more for the Galaxy A54 instead. So everyone, that was for the full review of Samsung's latest Galaxy A54 smartphone. A little disclaimer, this review unit of the Samsung Galaxy A54 was provided to us by our affiliate partner Huko.com and will be returned after the review is done. This video also was not sponsored in any way, and Samsung and our affiliate partner had no editorial input in any point of this review whatsoever. Saying this, I'm Pratima. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon again.